So hi, One of the Growers Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with...
And I am Lochie from Alpha Wolf.
And we have some questions to say about the upcoming album, Half Living Things. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to the announcement so far?
Good. It's always exciting, man. Putting out singles is like, I don't know, it's all just like a hype train for the album that inevitably comes out. So yeah, it always feels really good.
Hell yeah. I think the hype train is pretty long for this one, especially over here in the US. People are stoked.
Yeah.
I'm excited. The album fucking rocks front to back.
Oh my god, it's fucking incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, you like it?
Oh yeah.
Hell
yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, I don't know where else to talk about this, so I'm just gonna bring it up now. The Sleep Token bit that you guys did at the Philly show, because I was there, great. I just wanted to put that out there. I just wanted to mention that. I didn't know where that was gonna come up.
Awesome. No, that was sick. I've been waiting for someone to bring that up. Actually, that was that was grand.
Fucking awesome.
So, wait, you were at that? That was like TLA in Philly, right? On Halloween.
I'm a huge Motionless fan. So when they announced that they were doing an intimate Philly show, I was like, I'm already going to New York City, but I gotta be there.
Yeah. No, that was crazy. I'm so glad we could do that one with them.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So, is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Honestly, nothing too like. That all of that came afterwards, really, especially because the album title was originally just a song title, and then we needed an album title, and we were thinking, and instead of coming up with something entirely different, we just sort of found something we already had that was pretty grand and all-encompassing. We don't get really conceptual with our albums or anything like that because our thoughts never really go that deep or are that connected into anything. So I wouldn't really say it's all one theme and all one story or whatever, but I think we just tie it up together with an album title like that because that's as close as we can get. But art, we just told our boy to go crazy and told him what to add and told him what to keep in and stuff like that. And other than that, we just let him go nuts. We just told him to make it as grimy and as sort of like gross and like poisonous as possible.
Gotcha.
Nailed it.
So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for the album?
Honestly, it's just as scatterbrained as that sounded. Like the guy's pretty good at putting together demos and instruments and everything like that, but we can rarely sit down and actually write a whole song of lyrics. Like so much of what comes to me is just like sporadic, random throughout the day in the middle of the night. Like I'll always just pause what I'm doing and put something down in my notes app when it comes to me. And like, I think I just do that for so long. I absentmindedly am like putting together pieces of a puzzle. And then towards the end of like a recording or writing process, I'm just like, oh, wait a minute. I think I actually do have this. I've just got to put the pieces together and order them and chop and change them and stuff like that. So it's very painful and very slow, but that's usually how we do it.
Gotcha. So it's just like a lot of, bits and pieces like in notes apps and fucking voice memos and wherever you keep them. Yeah. And then you kind of organize it once you're in the studio. Is that kind of what I'm gathering?
Yeah. Sometimes like either in the studio or when I'm like actually like really like feeling the song, when I'm really feeling that that cheesy creative urge, when I'm like inspired or whatever, like I'm just like, all right, I'm going to sit down with all these words and actually tie them together. Cause I'm just like, I can never force myself to do it. It's the same thing. It's like just with creativity at all. Like I'll get like a glimpse of it and then I'll quickly write it down. And then a lot of the time I'll try to force that into something, but it never happens. So I'm just like, just write it down and let it go, write it down and let it go. And then eventually you've just got material, I guess.
Yeah. And does the rest of the band write like that? Or is the rest of the band bringing like the full ideas to you and then you just piece it together when it's time?
So, no, the other guys are like very like they can... Like, lyrically, it doesn't really happen. Lyrically, it always sort of happens the same. But instrumentally, they'll just drop a whole song in my lap one day. And which is very cool and exciting. But I'm just like, sorry, bro, I literally only have an intro worth of lyrics. Give me like 3 minutes and I'll finish this.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, they're really good. Instrumentals like come about differently, I guess, but they're always pretty good at that. But even like Sabian's the same. He's probably the other main lyric writer in the band. And he can do what I can't. He'll have just like paragraphs and whole songs just sort of ready to go. But then he might struggle with actually fitting them to the song because they're already like set out. They're already in a pattern in his mind. And then when you get the song, you got to sort of weave it into the song and jam it into the song. And sometimes it really works and sometimes it doesn't. So like that's how he's different as opposed to me, I guess.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Gotcha. And is it kind of more of a team effort trying to fit the lyrics to the actual instrumental?
Yeah, absolutely. I always say this, but like, even though I'm the vocalist, I'm the only one that like screams. Like everybody else's opinion on lyrics and vocals is like equal. Everyone's opinions on each instrument is equal, but people are gonna like think my opinion on a guitar riff is a little funnier than the actual guitarist, you know? Like it's gonna come from a different place. Like, but with lyrics and vocals, everyone's opinion is just like equal sort of thing. Everybody needs to be on board. Everybody needs to be feeling it sort of thing. Cause that's like the bow on top of the song pretty much. Like you could have a song, but the vocals could make you hate it or love it sort of thing. So everyone, it's a bit more painstaking because I've got like 4 people to like check off to make sure that they're fucking with my songs and stuff like that. But at the same time, as painful as it is, everybody's happy in the end, and that's a better feeling than anything, you know? Like that's better feeling than feeling like you just got your song off and everybody else just has to deal with it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the worst. So what song off this album took the longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
Did you say the longest to write?
Mm-hmm. And then your personal favorite.
I think A Terrible Day for Rain. That one's been around for a while. That one's like, I'm pretty sure that started as not even technically a Alpha Wolf demo. Scotty was just trying to do something obnoxiously heavy. And so that's why I feel like I've written like 4 different sets of lyrics for that song before I actually realized the last set, what they ended up being. Like that's what made it an Alpha Wolf song. Because I think I was just like Scotty just had a demo floating around in the space and I would just use it to flex lyrics and flex vocals and actually have something to jam on. And then we're just like, oh, let's use this as an Alpha Wolf song. I guess technically that's why it took the longest time to write, because it's been around since before this album's like writing process. And then maybe like Whenever You're Ready and Ambivalence. We're no good with melody and soft stuff, so it always takes ages for us to finish those songs, I think.
Gotcha.
And then your personal favorite?
It changes all the time, every time I listen to the album, but probably Mangekyo. It's too easy. It's just an ass beater. It's heavy. It's like a very, very obvious Naruto reference, and getting one of those off on an album feels really cool.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So curious, like the start and end rough time frame for this album, because you know you mentioned the one song, The Longest to Write, was like before this album cycle or this writing process really started. So curious when it started and ended.
Dude, that's the thing. We never really sit down and we're just like, all right, cool, album 2, start writing songs. It's just, I'm pretty sure as soon as that album was done and out, everybody just, whenever they felt it, would write a demo, would do it sporadically. That was the problem with this album. We had so much touring. We were just constantly away. We were in Europe and America like the whole year. We would sort of be at home away from each other, popping up with demos and stuff like that. And then we'd get to tour and talk about it a little bit and be like, should this song go in this direction, blah, blah, blah. And then be like, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. I'm on tour right now. We get absolutely nothing done until we just had so many scraps, but none of it was organized whatsoever. And we had to we went away for a week, just got a house in the bush somewhere and set up a full studio thing. And we didn't really record anything, but we just sort of slapped everybody in the face and said, all right, let's steer this thing in the right direction. That's when we knew we had the album. But time frame, I could not tell you. Absolutely could not. It's constantly going.
Fair enough. But like with that constant flipping back and forth between, you know, writing the record, touring, writing, touring, did you find this album to be harder to write because you were constantly on the road? And like, I know that like you guys don't necessarily get in the writing headspace, but now you're constantly on the move, and there is not even a chance to get in the writing headspace if you wanted to. Yeah,
I think like this album was like scaring me the most because of that. Because I knew like recording time was coming up, or like deadlines were coming up, and I was just like, I am freaking in Middle America right now, absolutely not giving a shit about these songs. So it was really, really hard, and that's the thing. Like I crumble under the pressure. All of my good ideas come up in the line at the supermarket, sort of thing. If I get told to like sit down, write a song, I will never do it ever. So I was more so terrified of that happening. And then I don't know. I say this all the time. Like we are just fighting for our lives to finish the album, pretty much. Like we are just finishing songs, doing songs, making it the best we can. And then eventually the album's done and we're just like, holy shit, like how did we get here? Sort of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. So how did the track list for the album come about? Did you guys write the opener be the opener, closer be a closer? Did you shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
I think when we, like, Mitch wrote Bring Back the Noise, and as soon as he sent the track, we're just like, intro. It's the intro to the album, obviously. Like that one screamed it. And with Ambivalence, Scotty was trying to, there was another song that went along with Ambivalence, and it was another grand, sort of slower, softer one. And we were trying to do the end of the album reverts back into the start of the album sort of thing, and it loops, like the two songs were going to mesh. Scotty sort of overcooked it and decided he didn't want to do that anymore. So then I think we scrapped a sort of slower, softer song that was originally going to be an intro, the re-looped intro or whatever. Got an ass beater intro, and then just said, all right, Ambivalence is good enough. And then we just sort of really focused on that song and made it the closer it is.
Makes sense.
Oh, shit. So you fully scrapped the original opener and just replaced it?
I wouldn't say fully scrapped because it wasn't fully there, but there was like a whole other song going there. Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
All right.
Damn.
Yeah.
And the rest of the record is just shuffled around, I guess, based on vibes.
Yeah, I take a mega backseat when it comes to track listing because I am evil apparently because I like to listen to albums on shuffle.
For the first time?
No, God no, that's crazy.
Okay.
Oh my God.
That's okay then. That's okay.
Jesus.
Of course. But like after that first initial time, it's I don't care.
Fair enough.
And so like I succeeded that. I was just like, guys, I really like. This is your forte sort of thing. And I think once like I saw the track list and listened to their versions of it, I was like, I see what we're going for. Like I understand like this flow happening here. And then I was just like, oh, now I want to change it. And then they're like, oh, but your opinion sucks on this matter. Like you can't. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I'm fine with it.
Go keep listening to your albums on shuffle. Yeah. You can't say shit.
They might have a point here.
Yeah.
So would you be able to tell us where Headspace is at while you were creating this album?
Honestly, I felt probably a bit manic and crazy from all the touring. Like, I don't think I'd ever been doing that much touring while writing at the same time when I was supposed to be doing. I don't know. It just felt like we were so deep in alpha wolf shit at this time. Like, we'd never been busier sort of thing, and it felt exciting because writing music and creating art is exciting, but it also felt more like work than anything else. Like, not like it was a chore to do, but like creating this thing was like, we are like in this machine right now, and this thing is fuel for this machine for the next 2 years, so to speak. Like, so we were really juggling this whole like creating an album better than the last one, also surviving, touring and not burning out and everything. And then also just like how to feed this machine, how to keep this like, we're in a really strange transition period where like we can't work. We're like broke, but like the band is sort of earning enough money that we don't have to work. But when we don't tour, we do. And it's just like, it's really sort of tumultuous and strange and scary and exciting at the same time, because I'm like paying bills with metalcore money, but at the same time I'm like super broke, and it's like, this is my dream I've wanted all along, but it's really, really, really hard work.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, that sort of shows in the album. Not a lot of it talks about it or whatever, but a deep frustration of like going through it because you really want it, basically. Like,
gotcha.
Yeah.
You used the analogy that like this album is the fuel for the band for the next 2 years to keep the machine going.
Yeah.
Was the pressure on for you from the second that the last record came out and you were just like, it's go time now, like next record, got to start writing it? Or did the pressure start to build as it got closer to that recording time?
I definitely tried to not think about it until we started. And that was probably a bad idea, because I probably should have processed that before I got into it. But yeah, definitely. We didn't expect, that's the thing, like we didn't expect A Quiet Place to Die to do what it did. And if it didn't, we probably wouldn't feel so scared about this album. It's like retroactively where that album took us. We're like, is this album going to do the same thing? It's a constant anxiety you have as a band. And then I think, I don't know, I knew that would fuck me up. I knew I would get far too mental comparing songs to songs if I did that. And I really just think I tried to shut it out and really, really just focus on the songs and almost like dive so far into it I couldn't think about another one. That's why I think some of maybe the themes or the lines on the new songs are a bit ridiculous or like outrageous or something like that. I was probably trying to do something a little more explosive than the last record, but also I was trying to just not care about what I was doing and just sort of feel and do. But at the same time, like, you're always going to compare your work to your older work. I think this one is far superior. But at the same time, like, you don't want your fans to just ditch your last record for your new one as well. Like, I want a full, healthy cycle of everything, you know?
Yeah. So now with this record on the horizon and your fans gearing up to listen to it, do you still feel a little anxious with kind of that just following up on your last record?
Yeah, absolutely. This time around especially, I'm trying not to dive into all the comments and all the review spaces and stuff like that, because that does send me crazy. So it's, from what I've seen or whatever, like, we are copying it a fair bit. But that's good because that means we did so well on our last album, I suppose. But at the same time, I am really, really, really trying not to pay too much attention to that side of it. I know it's there. But yeah, I don't know, like that at this point, I can't expect them to feel any different sort of way, you know? So I know what I'm going to see when I go and look at comments. So I'm just going to not.
I don't blame you for like living in your own bubble per se when it comes to not reading the comments. You're better off that way. I'm the same way. Glory has to sift through all our comments, because if I read a mean comment, it's game over. I want to quit. Like, it's you know. So I don't blame you. Yeah.
It's so stupid too, because you'll just gloss over the 1 million nice comments, and then you just like hone in on this one dude, and it's just like, oh brother, like
I'm fucked now. Like, my week's ruined.
Literally, you just went fuck my whole day up, man. But I'm too fragile for that sort of thing, so I'm just trying to stay away from it at this point and see what it's like when we actually get to a show to see the reaction.
Exactly. Damn right.
So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should do in the car with friends and dark with headphones on? Is work album, party album? What do you personally recommend?
Honestly, you could definitely chuck this on with your mates, like jumping around, maybe having a couple beers, because it comes out the gate swinging. I don't know. That's what we wanted. Like, it's dark. It's definitely like our noisiest, sort of messiest sounding album, but it's also like probably the bounciest and probably tackles like more lighthearted shit than any of our other albums. So it wouldn't be crazy to dance to at a party, you know, like I'm not talking about killing myself over and over again. We tried to not focus on that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Gym and driving are two ones I focus on, like, because I love speeding in the car, listening to heavy music, and I go to the gym all the time. So, like, those are two my main ones. If they slapped there, then they're gold forever, I think.
Damn right.
That's true.
Damn right. So this one should be super, super quick off the top of your head. I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
Tug, scratch, shout.
Chug, scratch, shout?
Yes.
Okay. I did not expect any of those, but I fuck with it.
That's it. Yeah.
Damn
That's
right.
good.
I just tried to think of like the least informative words I possibly could.
Least informative, but honestly, it kind of describes the record perfectly.
Right? Yeah. I thought you guys were expecting words like haunting and extravagant and stuff like that. But no, chug, scratch, shout.
Yeah.
Ethereal, diverse,
all the
mature.
So in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want listeners to have while going through the album?
No, not specifically, because I think like while it is all uniformed and everything, we like to think every song has a different, like, every song can be heavy and chuggy or whatever, but we feel the songs feel different. And we feel they convey in such a way that isn't so sad and mad and down and daunting or whatever that, I don't know. I just want people to move and bop and bang their heads to it. Because, I don't know, that's what we think of when we're putting it together. We're just like, if this makes us want to do this, then this will make them want to do that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. What was the question again?
Certain feeling that you want your listeners to have while going through the album.
Yeah. I want them to not be able to sit still, pretty much.
Yeah. There you go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. So are you able to touch on any particularly challenging or standout moments from the creation of this album, positive or negative?
Nothing too crazy, really. There was like, I don't know, nothing about the songs or that specifically. Recording, I have like a super bad time recording. I'm like really anxious and yippy when it comes to recording in a studio. So there was like a few different days where I would come in and record one line and immediately screw up my voice. Just could not sing or record anything else just because I would like get too nervous and do something I'd never done with my body before for no reason and then just screw it. And like I would get super dark when that happened, even though it was just like a stupid mistake from me being nervous. I'd be like, I can't do this anymore. I've just ruined my voice. I never actually knew how to scream. Like, and I would just sort of spiral and like get super negative about it. Like the guys would be in the room, be like, dude, chill out. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you're just nervous and weird about it. Like, it's not that crazy. But I don't know. I hate recording. I didn't yeah, I don't know. That's what I want to change about it. But like, yeah, recording scares the hell out of me. And this time around, especially so. So that sort of sucked. But at the same time, it's always worth it when you come out the other end of it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I have such a hard time. Like, I don't know. I'm like twice the vocalist live on stage that I am in the studio. And my whole thing, every time I get in the studio, I want to try to like blend that and get a bit closer to it. And that's my main struggle every time we're recording an album.
Absolutely. So when you are kind of in that spiraling headspace and you're freaking out in the booth and you're anxious and you're nervous, how do you ground yourself? Is it just the guys telling you like, calm the fuck down, you're fine? Or do you have anything that you tell yourself, you talk to yourself?
No, I'll have to I think I'll go back and listen to what I've already recorded and just sort of reassure myself that I can do it. But yeah, I just really need someone to slap me and just be like, dude, stop freaking out. Like, it's because it's a spiral. Like, you just need someone to grab you and be like, shake you a bit and just like, be like, shut up, dude.
Yeah.
And not in such a nice way. Like, I don't want anybody to be like, no, you're so good, bro. You know exactly what you're doing. You're just having a bad day. Like, I literally just need someone to be like, man up. Like, deal with it sort of thing. Like, you can do this. You are capable. Yeah, the guys help, but like, yeah, it's a super mental thing. And it's that whole wanting to do better compared to the last record as well. It's all the pressures you might not realize are at the forefront of your mind when doing an album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So is there like a certain point in the recording process where you kind of get past that anxiety, where you're just like, okay, I mean, we're halfway through it. Everything's sounding great. I should be fine for the rest. Or is it just throughout the entire process?
There's like, that's what I hate. Like, I'm so mental because it does get like that towards the end when you're doing days after days and the end is in sight and it's getting a bit more casual sort of thing. You chill out. And then one day you'll accidentally botch a take and then it'll start all over again. Like,
yeah.
It's just a me and anxiety thing. Like, it's just how I'm wired. But yeah, I think every album, it does get slightly easier, but every album is like 2 and 3 years in between one another. So there's not a lot of frequency there.
Yeah.
Sure.
So for this question, we want you to picture you're on tour. You're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
Oh, brother. It depends where I'm at, because Pilot, Flying J. Do you guys have those gas stations in Philly?
Pilot. I'm in Virginia.
Yeah, and I'm
Pilot,
in New Jersey.
I possibly Pilot.
Yeah, I've heard of Pilot. I haven't heard of Flying J though.
Flying J, never heard of it.
What gas stations do you have?
Wawa, Quick Check,
7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you have Loves? I'm like, these are. I suppose these are more. All right, these are more like truck stops, I guess. If I'm going to Pilot, Flying J, or Loves, the pizza, for no reason, is some of the best pizza I've ever had in my life, and it's bought at a freaking gas station.
That's wild. That's fucking. Yeah. I know fucking New York is in flames right now because of that. That's just wild.
No, it's crazy, but anybody from Australia who's been to any of those gas stations can vouch for me. I will get a 45-gram protein muscle milk from the fridge as well, and then probably a pack of Fritos honey barbecue flavor twists.
Ooh.
Yeah, I love those things. Yeah. And then probably a Four Loko.
Oh, damn! All right.
Oh yeah, to seal the deal right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
Oh my God. This is such a terrible question. I don't know. How do you answer that? What the hell? Two of us are vegetarian.
Mm-hmm.
One of us doesn't eat anything with like green or sustenance in it. Holy fuck.
You have to change your entire thinking, bro. The band is now food.
Yeah. We're challenging you. Come on.
I can't. This is so...
This is the one that stumped you.
What? Has anybody else answered this question? I need an example.
Yeah, we spoke to someone today who said something layered, and Shane recommended lasagna, and I said baklava.
Yeah.
Baklava. All right. What's something that like looks healthy and is generally accepted as healthy, but is not?
A fast food salad.
A fast food salad. Yeah. No, fuck. What is it? Like a Denny's salad.
Yeah. Anything from Denny's, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh, I'm getting sick just thinking
Denny's
about
salad.
it.
Yeah. Because like at first glance, we're like, we're might be like fit looking, like pretty cool. Like there's a couple tall boys in the band, and then once you like peel back the layer, you realize we're all just gross pieces of shit.
All right. Sounds good.
Thanks for helping me with that.
Yeah. And for the last couple questions, going to shift completely away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Spaghetti bolognese, meat, full of meat. I'm striking vegetarian for that. I don't give a shit.
All right.
With surely just like a beer, right? Like just a really, really cold beer. I'm not even that like big of a beer drinker right now, but if I'm gonna have one last beverage, it'd surely be like an ice cold beer.
Okay.
All right.
Locked in.
Yeah.
And if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
What's it called? Have you guys played BioShock Infinite?
No, I know it,
No.
but I've never played it.
As much as I want to play the BioShock games.
Yeah. Well, you've seen the vibes. The first two are like a grimy underground city or whatever. The third one's in like a beautiful, like grand city in the sky, and it's the most pretty thing ever. And as far as I'm concerned, you can just be a person there. It's not like you're going to get dragged into like the protagonist of the world's shit, you know? Like, because I'd pick something like Jujutsu Kaisen or like Dragon Ball or whatever, but I could just see myself getting blasted and killed in the first 3 days.
Yeah.
But I'm somewhere like that, somewhere really aesthetic and chill that I can just actually have a holiday for a week. I like that.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought of asking the last question. Every single person that was spoken to have said that it is the most important question. What's your favorite color?
Black.
So if you had to pick like a color.
I was gonna do this. I was going to say, you are going to negate me. You are going to stifle on my answer and tell me that it is not a color.
It's because it's true. It's not a color. So come on.
All right. Well, here's an answer I prepared earlier. Red.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll take that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Because I've been in this position far too many times.
But you keep putting yourself in that position. You keep saying black.
I'm staunch on it because I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Everything is a color. God damn it.
Oh my god.
I'm with you. I hate when she does it.
Jesus. Oh my god. Whatever.
I just sit here and let her do her thing, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever, man.
So, as I said, that's all the questions you have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Nothing in particular. We've got two tours on sale, and an album coming out April 5th. Tickets in all the regular places. That's it. Nothing else.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Sal. It's been Lochie from Alpha Wolf, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.